What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another Polarr Next live stream. Super excited to be back. It feels like an eternity since we've seen you all and been on the live stream. I know we do these every month, but I don't know. Jonathan, what do you think? Can we do these like every week or every other week or something like that? I just feel like it's just too far in between, but we've got a lot of cool little updates, performance improvements for Polarr Next that we're excited to talk about. And then of course, we're going to spend the last half of today's live stream working through an engagement shoot that I recently captured, and I'll be demonstrating a Polarr Next workflow for you all so that you can see like the best tips, the best advice, and really my favorite way to work through an engagement session with Polarr Next. So we've got Jonathan Jimenez in the chat. So if you have any questions and you're watching, please don't be afraid. Speak up in chat. Let us know any good feedback, bad feedback. Everything is great. We would love to receive it. We want to hear what you think about Polarr Next and how it can really improve, because that's how it's gonna happen, by actual users, actual photographers using this program. We want to hear what you think about Polarr Next. So Jonathan is in the chat. Is going to be directing traffic if you need to know about our Facebook group, where our Instagram is. If you want to follow us on TikTok, he's got all the links for you to go and check us out to make sure that you're staying on top of everything that we're putting out there, all the new content, all the new updates and features of Polarr Next. So with that being said, let's check in real quick. If you are here and you're watching, or perhaps you're lurking, you've got us on in the background, please let us know where you're tuning in from. Would love to hear where you're at. For me, I'm currently in Maui, Hawaii. I know it doesn't really look it, but I swear I've got palm trees and coconuts and some waves on the shoreline outside my window. Jonathan's over here on the west coast of North America, California, and we would love to know where you all are tuning in. And even if you're watching this live stream after it's live and you're just catching up on the VOD, please check in, say hi in the comments, and let us know what you thought about this video. So with that out of the way, let's go into the updates and improvements of Polarr Next. So I've got all my notes up here, and like I said, it feels like it's been a long time since our last live stream on April 23rd. A lot's been going on with Polarr Next, and we've been busy at work behind the scenes. So a couple things. Number one, we've got improved color match results, and that is big for me because I'm a stickler when it comes to color. I loved using Lightroom. I loved using Capture One. Capture One being very well known for its color science. So jumping to Polarr Next, making sure that Polarr Next isn't just like an additional photo editing suite. Like, this is an actual powerful professional photo editing program that you can fully rely on. And using features like AI color match, we want to make sure that you are getting really good results. So we've been hard at work behind the scenes to make sure that the results from the AI color match are going to be better and more improved. And we're going to demonstrate that today on stream. So you're going to see more consistent output when you're using color match when creating your AI style. Some other things, DNG processing. So if you like to edit in DNG, then we've got better and enhanced processing of those files. Also, hiding masks. That was a little bug that I was like having an issue with, and that I had filed, that when you had multiple masks in like a group, say you got like mask one group, and then you've got a radio mask, a subject mask, a background mask, all within that one group, when you click the main eye, it wasn't hiding all of the masks and everything like that. So we fixed that. That's also something that we're definitely going to demonstrate. And then we've got improved healing. So like I said, we love hearing from our users, and this one was really caught and brought up by some of our users using our healing brush. And it does get a little pesky around the edges the what do you call it, the composition, the picture image. And what would happen is that colors would blur on the edges when you're trying to heal. Say there's like a signpost or something on the edge going out of the frame. And so we've improved that, and it's actually gotten really good. So last but not least, reset all is now undoable. So trying to match the same type of behavior and performance as other editing programs, we want to make sure that if you do hit reset all on an image, that you can quickly undo that by just pressing Control Z. So no longer having to go into your history panel and follow the logic and trying to figure that out. You just got to hit Control Z, and then you're able to reset all. So those are just a couple of quality of life improvements. Of course, we've got other things cooking in the kitchen. That's why you need to make sure that you are tuned in to our Instagram, our TikTok, our Facebook group, because you're going to get all the latest updates. And then, of course, hanging out with us on the live stream. Make sure before we get going here, hit the like button on this video and subscribe. That is the best way to see more of our content on your YouTube feed. So before we jump in to the editing, there was a question that was posted on a recent YouTube video. So I'm going to read the question and then I'm going to provide the answer. So the question was, hey, Aaron, I really like your program. And actually, he didn't say, hey, Aaron. I don't know why I said, okay, let's rephrase that. Hey, Polarr Next, I really like your program, and I think it's one of the best Lightroom alternatives, but I can't find a way to layer photos for exposure bracketing. Can your program do this? So thank you so much for that question, and we're going to answer that for you. So great to hear that you consider us as one of the best Lightroom alternatives. Becoming a photo editing program that can be considered an alternative to, you know, a program that's really built, you know, so many different photographer professionals, businesses, so many years. We definitely have a lot of features and things to catch up on. So the goal of Polarr Next was really to focus on those single photo editing workflows, applying presets, creating your AI style, and working through that, basically ramping up batch editing. And we do that very, very well. There are features that we don't have that other programs do have, and they're not features that we really would consider a priority right now, because again, we're just focusing on the single photo editing workflow rather than something where you can do HDR bracketing like what you're asking about, being able to layer photo upon photo upon photo. So there's a lot of features like that that Lightroom has, like being able to stitch panoramas, focus stacking, and then of course HDR merge. So that is a feature that we currently do not have, and we really do listen to the feedback, and we take into consideration all of the requests that you might have. So even if we don't have that today, we definitely will be talking to our devs and engineers about features along down the road here. And thank you so much for sharing your desire and requests for that. And stay tuned. You know, you never know what'll happen. So you know, right now, like I said, with our single editing photo workflow, usually any type of photoshopping, any type of merging that I need to do personally for my work, usually I'll just make sure in Polarr Next I edit everything so that it's consistent in exposure and consistent in color, and then I take that into Photoshop. And I find I really like that workflow because, you know, back when I was doing the whole Lightroom to Photoshop thing, I just didn't like how you weren't able to batch, you know, send photos to Photoshop and you're doing that type of focus stacking thing. I found Lightroom to be a little iffy. I don't know about you guys, but like Photoshop's generative AI fill is much better than like Lightroom's AI fill. So even though Lightroom does have a lot of those features, I still find myself going to Photoshop and being able to like use the full horsepower of like what Photoshop can offer and stuff. So Although we don't have that feature, I feel like Polarr Next still is a really powerful workflow that you can color correct, that you can change the exposure, get your styles dialed in. And then when you're ready to do those types of focus stacking, HDR merging, then just batch export actually out of Polarr Next into the .psd file. And then you can send those right to Photoshop and your workflow will flow pretty seamlessly. So I hope that answers your question. We currently don't have that, but there are little workarounds and possibly even better workflows actually than you might think. So definitely check us out. Keep using Polarr Next, and really stoked to hear that you consider us one of the best Lightroom alternatives. So I don't know, what do you think, Jonathan? That's pretty good feedback. All right, so today we're going to be working through a little engagement session that I shot recently. And if you're watching and you do engagements or weddings, let me know what type of photography you like to capture. Let me go ahead and switch this up here. All right, so we got the Polarr Next dashboard here. I'm going to go ahead and bring in a new project. This project is living on my desktop. All right, Kurt and Michelle, let's go. So we're going to go ahead and bring this in, and we're going to start with culling. So the Polarr Next workflow, what I love about it, it's very logical, very left to right, right? Before, I used to cull in Lightroom as I edited, and that was so far from being an optimized workflow. It was painful just going through, and I remember I had some friends who were like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm editing. And they're like, you don't cull before you edit? And I'm like, I'm thinking like, I don't have time to cull. Let me just edit. Let me do my thing. But I listened to them, and slowly but surely, I started culling before I edited. Polarr Next makes that very simple. You don't have to open up any other alternative programs. You can literally do it within the same window. I mean, we're in a web browser here, people. So let's go ahead and hit cull, and right away, Polarr Next begins to analyze all of your photos. So you can see down below, it's analyzing for some keepers. It's also analyzing for groups. If you are curious at how fast it can analyze your groups and your keepers, then you can just hover over with your mouse, and you can see that little percentage ticking up there. Of course, it just depends on like how many images you have. In which this engagement session, I've got almost 2,000 images. That's almost like a wedding. So sorry, I kind of overshot this wedding, but the good news about Polarr Next and being able to cull really fast, when we say that it speeds up your workflow by 80%, like we really mean it. Yo, what up, JL? Welcome back. Great to have you. Where have you been? That's what I want to know. No. Great to have you. Hope you've been well. But yeah, when we say you can speed up your workflow by 80%, I'm telling you guys, with this culling keepers feature, you literally can tell the AI, hey, find me my best. Let's see. I tend to deliver about 100 to 120 finished color graded engagements per like 1 hour session. So we've got like 1,700 images, and don't worry, like it's a lot of it is like walking shots and those in-camera movements. So kind of makes sense. So let's go ahead. If I'm gonna deliver 120, let's double it. Let's cull through 300. All right, let's cull through 300 here. And all we need to do is type in 300, or you can just use this slider if you want. I like to be a little bit more precise and just say 300. There we go. We got 300 images now that Polarr Next is looking for. And as you can see down below, we're almost there. So 1,700 images. Polarr Next just finished grouping all of the different scenes, and it already finished looking for those keepers. I don't know how much time that was from bringing the project in, but as soon as I click this, bam, we're no longer culling through 1,700 images. We're culling through 300 images, of which the AI thinks is our strongest images. Now, the way that it determines those strong images is it's looking at a couple things. And you look in the top right, you can see the overall score. It's giving me a 4.2. Now, I don't know if I've ever encountered a full-on 5.0, but I have encountered like a 5.0 in focus. One of these days, I'm gonna screenshot that and be like, hey, I hit the magical, the unicorn, the 5.0 with fives across. Obviously, being a natural light shooter, my lighting is always going to be suffering in low scores because a lot of my shots are either going to be overexposed or underexposed, in which the AI is definitely judging. But it's saying, hey, you've got great face focus here, 4.8. Your lighting is a little lacking, which is understandable. And then you've got great focus. And then we've got this super awesome face focus little feature here. It's telling me that we've got smiling couple and some good focus. You can focus up on there if you want. But yeah, you can see that here. So that's how it's determining how good your photos are. And if you're kind of like, hey, Aaron, like I like that. That's cool that the AI does that. But what about all the other images that are like more in the creative realm that the AI might not choose or think are good? Well, that's a great question, because guess what? You can easily click this keepers tab, this keepers filter, and voila, there are all your images again, all 1700. But as you can see, these images are just milliseconds apart, and you don't need all these, right? It's already looked through. It's already found all the best ones with the best focus, with the best attention to the face. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it on, but pay attention, because there might be times where I take it off because I know that there are little moments and things that I really wanted to shoot and edit that the AI might not have signified with that keeper's thumbs up. So I'm going to go ahead and actually full screen this, give us the best real estate. And now it doesn't even look like we're in a web browser. It looks like we're in a full-on powerful editing platform. All right. JL got some credits because I entered the code of a friend. So now I can edit my 900 pictures from the Timber Sports competition. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, JL, I want to see those photos, bro. That sounds super interesting. I don't know if you're a part of our Facebook group, JL, but definitely join that and then tag me, okay? Just at Aaron Nahara in the Facebook group on Polarr Next. I would love to see those photos that you edit. And Jonathan, I've been thinking about this. I think it'd be really, really cool if we had a thing where our users could submit photos to be edited during the live stream. And I would love to check out people's RAWs and then maybe like edit through. I know we like did it in the very beginning through the email campaign, but I think it'd be super fun to like maybe like pick that back up and keep doing it. Anyways, putting you on the spot. Never hit a 5.0 overall score yet either. Yeah. Dude, we should make that a challenge, like in the Facebook group or something. Be like, hey, post screenshots of your 5.0s. Okay, let's get going. I'm actually, you know what? Let's have a little fun today. So I don't know if you know this, but you can actually cull with an Xbox controller. It doesn't have to be an Xbox. It could be an 8-bit. It could be a PlayStation 5 controller. I just happen to have a couple Xbox controllers. But I've actually programmed my computer to work with my controller. So now I can edit. Actually, you know what? I have to open up Steam. Let me go ahead and do that. The way this works is I open up Steam and then it allows me to jump into hotkeying my controller. There we go. I tell you guys, no lie. Look at that. So we're gonna go ahead and cull, because there's days, you know, as professional photographers, there are certainly days where you get kind of tired and fatigued with using the keyboard and the mouse, and you kind of like carpal tunnel action. Yeah, I'm not about that life. This right here is like the most comfortable. Just especially when you're culling, you don't really need to like be all up on the computer. You can literally just like sit back and just kind of cull through. So I'm gonna do that. We're gonna just cull through and we're gonna chat. My A button is set to the number 8, which is our green filter, and then I just kind of go through. And then of course, if I need to look at images, I've got the right trigger for mouse click, I've got left trigger for right click, and then I've got the thumbsticks for my mouse, and I can easily just select things if I need to. But let's go ahead and we're going to cull through here real quick. My goal is to get about at least 50 to 100. If I can cull and select 100, 150, that'd be awesome. But we only have a limited amount of time here on the live stream. So let's go ahead and go through. Let's go through here. So like right here between these two, these are both really, really nice. For between both of these, what I'm looking for, I see like we got the Hawaiian flag like right here in the background, which isn't really a bad thing. But I feel like this image here has a little bit more movement with her hair. The arm looks a little bit more open and free, whereas this feels more scrunched up, which can be a little cute. But I'm going to go ahead and select that one. That one's kind of fun, a little aftermath shot, but no need. All right, we've got a little, there we go. These two look great. I also have a problem with the software. Polarr Next always says that there's an error. Let me ask you this, JL. Does a yellow exclamation mark pop up when it errors like that? It can be really frustrating. That is very true. You know, we are in open beta, so that is a tough thing, you know, when we're talking to professional photographers who have their photo editing workflow locked in with other softwares. As we continue to develop and introduce new features and updates, you might see some things here and there that might give you some bumps in the road, and you know, honestly, it can be really frustrating. So that's why it's really important, man. Great that you're in here to share with us your feedback so that we can file the bugs. Jonathan will definitely be able to help you. The best way for us to help you, JL, is again, like if you join the Facebook group, you can screenshot the error message or like what you're getting, and then send it to us in the Facebook group, or you can email that to us, next.polarr.com@gmail. All right, let's go here. So we got some in-camera movement, and actually really surprised that, actually not surprised, but it's really cool to see that Polarr Next does include some of these in-camera movement blurry shots. You can see that I've got my shutter speed open to about 1/60th of a second, bringing up the aperture to compensate for the massive overexposure. It's still pretty bright, but yeah, look at that. It's giving me a good lighting, good face, but the focus obviously is not the best. So I mean, look how blurry this one is, and it's still giving me that option. I love that. I don't have to worry about Polarr Next completely getting rid of all of the creative shots that I captured of my couple. Here we go. Nice. Got some really nice portraits of Michelle here. Let's see. There we go. Nice. Shot these were up at F9. It looks like I carried over those settings from the in-camera movement, and then here you can see now I'm at F2.8. So now you can see the bokeh right behind her is like really nice and circular there, all the little light glinting off of the ocean. So I love this one. I also like this one, but I don't like how close her shoulder is to the edge of her frame. So her smile in this one is really nice. Look at that. I got a focus, a 5.0 focus. There we go. There we go. Bam. Thanks for doing that, Jonathan. And hopefully we're going to be able to help you out there, JL, and solve whatever you're having issues with. I really like this one. Kind of the hand right there. We got the ring front and center. Again, these are engagements. So there we go. Her hand is kind of moved away. That one is nice, but for the sake of culling, and like, I don't want to overcull. You know, I have a problem with overculling. There we go. We do that one. Smiling, looking away. And I like that one. There we go. Yeah, we got you. We are here for you, my friend. There we go. Heads connecting. I love that. Like, this is great, but this is just better. Any type of connection points like that, adding them on is just so much better. There we go. We got, oh, I like both. Let's keep going here. Nice. Love lifting that left arm, getting some connection there on the back of his neck. This one versus this one. When I'm instructing my clients, I'm like, just give in to what Kurt's doing with you. Just be in the moment, giving me your attention. So this is kind of like, it's a cute shot, but like this really takes it home. The eyes closed, giving in to that emotion. There we go. Beautiful. Just enjoy the scene. All right. And then we got Michelle up on the rock. Come on. Looking like Ariel over there. Got, again, some nice bokeh glinting off the ocean. We got some waves splashing up on the rocks. Come on. And then the water level rising up. This is where having that flip out LCD camera where you can get real low with your shot and then point that LCD up so you can really frame it well. The Nikon Z6 III. Shout out. Nice. There we go. These two right here. These, not really my cup of tea. I know that there's other images within this sequence that I liked. So I can just click that keeper's filter off. And now we can get a nicer smile. There we go. Versus that one where her mouth is kind of open, kind of mid-talk. And then now you can see it's just closed for a nice smile. Let's go ahead and turn that keeper's filter right back on. And continue on. We got focus up on the hand. And then a nice wide shot of her on the rock. We do that one. I like that with the eyes. Ooh, that one's great. Love the low angle shot. Heads connecting there. And bringing in those palm trees in the background. That looks great. All right. I moved on from that 24 to 70 millimeter lens 2.8 to the 85 1.8. Look at this beautiful compression. Ooh, this one's pretty strong here. Not a 5.0, but like everything's solidly in the green. Yeah, those are nice. Ooh, this one could be used in like an advertisement. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, that's good. Do you sometimes look at photo books for inspiration? And if you do, which can you recommend? Sorry, by the way, I'm asking things. No. You know, these live streams, JL, are really, they are about Polarr Next, but they're about photography. You know, like we're all about wanting to build community and learning from each other. And you want to talk about photo books, let's talk about photo books. But unfortunately, I don't have any. Actually, hold on a second. Hold on. All right, so having a physical book, I feel like these days are kind of rare. Most everyone goes to Pinterest to look for inspiration, you know, when you're looking for shots or engagement shoots. And I honestly, I still kind of look on Pinterest and we'll browse around a little bit. But I do have a book that I received. I don't know if you know who Dixie Dixon is, but she sent this to me when I had her on an interview on another channel. And it's this awesome book on fashion and lifestyle. even though it says fashion, it's still like is very like applicable to lifestyle. And so I did read through this for a bit. There's a lot of great stuff in here. You have a lot of like pose ideas, so you can see there. And Dixie Dixon really works through all the different case studies of color, posing, figuring out what you want. She goes through gear. She goes through lenses. I think this is like right when mirrorless came out. So she kind of mainly features like the Nikon D5 and stuff. But she talks everything from composition to like focus mode and coloring. Let me find the color section here. This one was really helpful for me. You can see there we've got different color wheels teaching you the different triadic, tetradic, square, complementary colors. Super good. So to answer your question, this is literally probably the only kind of photo book. I know it's not your traditional photo book. It's more of like a all-inclusive textbook, but definitely recommend if you find this one on a bookshelf or you go on Amazon, you can find this. It's really great for teaching you color composition, lifestyle, fashion, portraits. Yeah. But then again, digital photo book, Instagram, Pinterest. There are a couple photographers that I follow on Instagram. I'm kind of the camp where I like to follow people I know, people that inspire me, because I could get lost in comparing myself to other photographers and their work. And that could be a very hard spot, especially like if you're trying to stay motivated and encouraged. I know how discouraging it can be if like you feel like your work is not as good as someone else's. So you know, Pinterest is a good place. And then those books, you know, like that book that Dixie Dixon wrote is just a really great tool to teach yourself and everything. So hope that answered your question. What about you, JL? Do you look through photo books? Are there people on Instagram that you follow that like give you encouragement, that inspire you? You like those angles? Thanks, bro. I appreciate. Yeah, Jonathan, the one laying on the ground. This one was definitely out of my wheelhouse. I saw the grass and I was like, I'm already halfway through this photo shoot and I'm feeling the vibe from this couple that they're more kind of like unique and out there. And so I was like, okay, let's do something I've never done before and that I don't normally do. One, you know, having the gentleman take his shirt off, and then two, like laying on the ground. And to the, you know, to the passerby, it might look a little funny or weird, but I had the vision, you know, and I already saw the image in my mind. So that's what I went for. And then I love this. I don't know why, but like this background of green with the blue color. It just, I felt like I could easily get, like with this movement and blurriness, I felt like I could get like a nice filmy type of vintage look here. So here we go here, featuring Michelle again, walking in that super awesome dress she's wearing, letting her soak up that sun. Then we got Kurt again, chat again. Look at this. This one is so close to a 5. We got 4.9 on focus. We got 4.4 on face, but we got 1.0 on lighting. And yeah, it is dark, but that's the way I shoot sometimes. Underexpose it so I can get the details in the sky. And then there we go. Oh, this one was one of my favorites. They're, of course, intentionally out of focus. Just kind of like a film type shot, like I missed it. I'm gonna blur it up and add some grain. There we go. Ooh, love it, love it. We're almost done culling, guys. Almost done. We're gonna have some time for editing. Just wanted to chat through. Ooh, love this one with the intentional blur. Just wanted to talk to you guys through my culling workflow and the things that I look for. And yeah, really what I want from a photo shoot. Love this shot. We got the gorgeous bokeh in the background, focused up on the ring there. We're at f2.2 using the 85 1.8 lens. I personally really like Accidentally Wes Anderson. Probably it really isn't interesting for you because it doesn't have something to do with portrait and stuff. But if you like Wes Anderson, I appreciate that, man. You know, it's important to do some kind of cross-pollination when you're looking for inspiration, because if you constantly look for inspiration from wedding photographers and engagement photographers, that's all you're gonna get. You're only gonna get inspiration and encouragement from wedding photographers and engagement photographers, and your work could become a little stale if you feel like it is. If you're just like, man, like I feel like I'm doing good work, but it's kind of like routine, it's kind of stale. Let me get out of my box. Then you pull from Wes Anderson. Then you get into something that's definitely out of your wheelhouse, out of your box. And that's the good stuff. Just like with this session, I didn't really get inspiration for like those laying down shots, but that is a really great point that you brought up about looking somewhere else for that type of encouragement, inspiration. So I actually appreciate you saying that. I might have to go watch some Wes Anderson films after this. Okay, so we just got done culling. Look at that. We literally culled 1,700 images within 20 minutes. 20 minutes, guys. We've got my goal of 130. That's about how much I'm going to deliver to my clients. And now we're on to editing. So I'm going to go ahead and hit edit. And what's so great about Polarr Next is that when you've got your AI styles already trained, you don't have to spend a lot of time searching and hunting for the right preset. If you want your work to have like a cohesive look, then you can already start with a massive head start using an AI style, which we're going to do. So we're going to go using previous AI styles, and I'm going to import a style from a session that I've done already. Let's go ahead and go in here, and I've got my AI style. Let's go ahead and hit open. That's so fast. It is. It's pretty nuts. All right, and there we go. We're already starting to edit. Processing all the images so far. So if you want to learn more about this AI style, we can go hit about this AI style. This style has about 300 references trained. Sorry, let me go ahead, make sure I'm not missing anything super important. Okay, great. Okay, great. All right, we're gonna hit close. It's just in that matter of checking the notifications on my phone, my Slack messages, it pretty much finished editing the entire album. See you later, JL. Appreciate it. We'll see you next month. All right. But hey, jump in the Facebook group and tag us, please. I would still love to see those images that you edit with Polarr Next. All right. Okay. Oh, by the way, Jonathan, is my audio too loud, bro? Like, I want to make sure I'm not drowning myself out with music. Okay. So here we go. The AI has already processed everything. And as I'm scrolling through, I'm looking through and looking for consistency. Now, obviously, there are images where like these two I really love, but then these two are a little bit brighter, in which the AI might have overcompensated because of how dark I underexposed it. These look great. These ones look great. Like, there's so many great edits here that I'm not starting from scratch. I literally just applied an AI style, and this AI style is pretty much what I like to edit. 292 references. How many projects? Just one. Just one. So one thing about the Polarr Next workflow that is vastly different than Lightroom. When you're in Lightroom, your muscle memory is on the control. I forget now what sync is. But hitting control or hitting shift click, and then clicking the sync button, or if you have it to a hotkey, I used to have it to a hotkey, and I would press it to sync. So what my muscle memory is now with Polarr Next, you can see that I finished. Let's go down to the history real quick. Here's the original. Here's the AI style, and this is where I have it currently. So we've got all those different steps. You can see that it's locked. Now, the AI is not going to learn from this locked image. It's only when you mark it as a reference. So either I can click this toggle, or on my editing console, I have it. Let me show you here real quick. Yeah, let me show you. This is my monogram creative console, and I have mark reference right here on my console. You can see I've got all these buttons, a dial, and then some more buttons down here. And as soon as I hit this button, marks it as a reference, and you see the AI automatically update. And yeah, I had 292 references. Guess what? We're training a new variant of this AI style. Now we've got 200. We've got 2 references here. So now we've added more references. Actually, you know what? This is weird, Jonathan. Is this weird? This is weird. Isn't the behavior to continue on, or is it because I've created a new variation that it's now counting these as its own references? And what's interesting is it's saying there's 2 references here, but down here on the filter, there's only 1 reference. So I think that might be a bug that we found. Definitely will probably notify that and let the team know. But yeah, it's telling me I've got 1 reference here. If I go to about, there's 2. And I literally showed you on stream when I first edited the whole project, there was 292 references in this AI style. So yeah. Anyways, this is the great stuff that we find during our live stream, guys. All right, so again, here's the original. Here's the first iteration of the AI style, and then when I marked reference just now, this is what it turned it to. Definitely more the look I'm going for. And then I just adjusted it a little bit by pasting settings. There we go. And there we go. So everything from cropping to masking, color grading, everything the AI is going to learn. Also, we've got some grain action going on, and I really don't mind it. This couple is a little bit more of that vintagey, moody, grainy type of look. So definitely want to keep rolling with that. And then again, muscle memory, keep marking references. So now I've got 2, but this is telling me I got 3. Anyways, yeah, it'd be funny. Okay. So one thing that I do, and you know, this is probably something that we're probably going to continue to improve, is I find that when I mark references, it doesn't 100% do one-to-one changes. It will update similar images, but it may not one-to-one update it. And the AI is just figuring out, like, okay, the user has marked a reference and it's changed these settings, but I'm going to apply maybe some of it to the new similar image, not all of it. And here's what I've been doing. What I do is you can see here's the original AI style, and then I pasted. You can see I pasted there. See, this is the AI style. It's very bright. It's leaning more towards the green hue in the tint, and you can see here they're leaning more to magenta, not towards that green hue. So what I've done is I've copied the settings from here, and I noticed that when I marked as reference, it's still not leaning to that magenta. So I pasted, and now we've got the look that I want. So I've gone ahead, I've cropped everything, and there we go. I'm gonna hit copy just so that I have that on hand, because what's gonna happen is when I mark this as a reference, AI is gonna update similar images. Watch what happens when you go to the next image. This is a little bit better. If I go down the list here on the history, you can see the one right below it, it's got a little bit more green hue. If I go up, it brings it back to more that warmth, that magenta. Now, if I paste the settings, now you can see it brings back that darker look, which is more representative of what I'm doing here. There we go. So I wouldn't have got that with the AI style. You can see down here, the AI styles, still keeping it bright, still keeping it with that different hue, but having the adjustments on your clipboard, now you can really dial it in. And then I mark it as a reference. The more that I can do this, the more I can train the AI. Like, I really want this darker look. So again, copy, go here, paste it. So that time when I pasted it, it didn't really make a difference. I know my head is blocking the history panel. You can see my mouse here on the left side. But if I go down from here, the AI style is actually darker. So I didn't need to paste those adjustments. What that's telling me is the AI is learning from me. So here, other than cropping, which I don't need to do here, I don't need to do anything on this image. Mark it as reference. Let's keep going. Again, here we go. AI style. Let's go ahead and paste adjustments. Barely anything changed here, and that is a good sign. That means the AI is learning and it's applying the look that I want. So that's the thing about Polarr Next with the workflow, with training the AI style. We're building from the ground up, and there's a reason why all types of AI editing software are going to ask you for hundreds and thousands of references for the AI to learn from. It definitely does take time, but with Polarr Next, we do it immediately in real time with you as you're editing, rather than trying to guess, figure out how many weddings and catalogs you have that use the same presets, the same style. That for me was the hardest part about like AI editing with other programs. And it literally took me about 6 months to finally dial in an AI style look that like resonated with me, because I don't have 10 hours in the day to try and edit and create an AI style. And all the other programs out there, not only that, you have to wait for that style to be trained on their end for them to kick it back down to you. With Polarr Next, it literally happens in the moment. So let's continue on with this. If I paste my adjustments here, yeah, you can see that the adjustments I had are getting brighter than what the AI style is showing me. So what I'm actually going to do is actually really like this style. It's about 1, 2, 3 down. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to hit copy so that I have those settings on the clipboard. We're going to adjust the crop here, confirm it, and then we're going to mark it as a reference. The AI style is going to process. So it doesn't process anything immediate. It is processing something on the timeline, but we'll get there. So, all right, let's go ahead and keep going here. This is actually looking great. And we're talking about muscle memory. Look at, I've marked every single one of these photos as a reference. And I like doing that because working left to right, I know that these images, They're all finished. They're all done. And the more, look, and this one's darker. This one's much brighter. Let's go ahead and paste those adjustments. There we go. We're getting that darker look that I want. Bring down the contrast. There we go. Giving it that little film aesthetic. I believe I got also curves. We're crushing the blacks here. If I bring this curve all the way down, we've got more like a clean digital image. But if I bring this up, we're crushing those blacks, and it's going to give you that faded vintage film. So if I bring it all the way up, you can really see that. But we don't want that. We just want to bring it around here. You don't want to do it so that you start to lose detail in the hair. Then that looks funky and weird. You got to watch for that. Bring it down and just find that sweet spot of where you're comfortable. There we go. Mark it as reference. Copy. Let's keep going. Super easy. Let's go ahead and paste the adjustments, see what happens. It actually brightened it up, so we're going to go a step back. I like that. Bring up the saturation a little bit. There we go. Mark that as a reference. Let's keep going here. And you can see that the AI style is very, very bright there. Pasted the adjustments that I want. Let's bring up the highlights. One thing I've been doing a lot too is I'm not afraid of bringing up those highlights. A lot of times wedding photographers will go negative 100 on highlights, which is fine for certain situations. But I find like when you go negative 100 highlight and then you bring up the shadows, creates this weird funky like fake HDR feel. And you know, when you're out at the beach on Maui, you're not looking at everything in HDR, right? You're looking at things in real time with real harsh shadows, with real harsh sunlight. You know, sometimes the sky is blown out, you know? So in those moments, like when I'm editing, I do like to try and bring back those stronger shadows, blown out skies. There we go. This is already looking really good. There we go. I can do before and after. Paste. There we go. So that one is a little bit stronger. I actually kind of like this. That's pretty good. This is one I don't need to touch other than adjusting the crop. There we go. Let's paste that. Nice. Wow. How many photos have we done so far? We are cooking right now. And if I kept it up for at least another hour, we'd probably be almost done with this engagement session. Keep in mind, this engagement session was 1,700 images long. We knocked it down to 138 through Polarr Next culling with the keepers feature. And then we were able to speed up our editing workflow by applying a previously trained AI style. Editing is going so fast, and I'd be able to edit this in the next hour and a half and be done. When I've got a 3-hour delivery window timeline, I literally knock this down within less than half a day. That's insane. Polarr Next, very, very powerful software, especially when you're training your AI styles and leaning into that power of the AI being able to help you cull, help you edit, help you train your styles. Absolutely love it. Haven't used Lightroom since 2023. I wear that on my shirt like a badge. I'm telling you guys, Polarr Next, powerful, powerful program. Only 13 minutes since I started editing. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. Well, that being said, we're done with today's live stream. Yeah, I don't feel bad that I didn't get to fully finish this project. We already know that if I took on another hour editing through this, absolutely would have crushed it with Polarr Next. All right. Wow. We waited that long since April to do the May live stream, and it's already over just like that. so many little quality life improvements, updates that we've made to Polarr Next, our amazing engineering development team. Hats off to you guys, really stepping up and just killing it with these new updates, fixing bugs here and there. And of course, we found little bugs here and there as well during the live stream. So JL, thank you so much for jumping into today's stream. We're definitely going to answer your question and get back to you as soon as we can. And if any of you who are watching this have any questions, or you're watching the VOD, please let us know down in the comments or email us. We've got Facebook groups, we've got Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Please let us know, get a hold of us. We want to hear your feedback. We try to be as communicative as we can with all of our users. So we just want to say a huge thank you so much for joining us on this journey of Polarr Next, helping us to create such an incredible editing program. Jonathan, thank you so much for being here, bro. Appreciate it. As always, answering questions, directing traffic. And we'll be back in June. Super excited to see you guys then. And I hope you all have a good rest of your Wednesday. Get out there, go capture some amazing photographs, and can't wait to see what you edit with Polarr Next. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Aloha.